from. So it's 672 cards, and the players are going to get passed a variety of packs. And what's going to happen here is they're going to take one from each pack and then build decks out of them at the very end. So it takes a lot of skill. There's a lot of different interactions that happen. You gotta make sure you're not always guaranteed to find the Pokemon line you're looking for. So hopefully we'll get see some really good drafts come out from here. I am joined by Davi. Davi, how are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing great. I'm very excited to see this cube. I've played this cube in the past. It's super fun, super interesting to play a high power cube like this, that there's no GX and EX Pokemon, just like one prizers hitting each other and trading blows. And it's really important to get consistency, get speed, get some crazy powers to try to do your opponent. And let's see what JL here makes his pick, since I think the draft's starting for them.
Yeah, it looks like I think they're restarting the drafter here. So I think everyone they're still waiting on a few people. So we are recording this live, but if you're watching it, you're watching it the day after. So we'll ultimately know which deck wins this at the very end. But starting off right now, we have no idea. So it looks like we're starting off with JL here. I need to hop over into JL's tab. JL is looking at. I don't think JL's made a selection yet. I think JL's still looking.
Yeah, he's looking at his pack. Kind of a weak pack to start with, right? There's no super strong card, no obvious pack one, pick one.
Yeah, there's definitely a few different options. One card is cut off; it's just a chest pin, but you're really looking, I guess, maybe at the level ball or the nest ball for some consistency. Of course, there also is the night maintenance for recovery and the ordinary rod if you wanted those. I don't know. I would think maybe the either the level ball or maybe a strong card like Faba could be a good pick here. Then again, those are kind of nice, just because they offer a little bit more energy acceleration options for certain decks. But yeah, nothing super strong sticking out here. I think maybe level ball would be my pick. Davi, what are you thinking you would take from this pack?
From this pack, I like Dimension Valley. I like how you can use with a lot of different options. You have so many different attackers in Psychic. You have Gengar, Weezing, and Naganadel. Naganadel doesn't have the turning point turn, which is important, but it's still 3 for 80, which in this cube is not great. It's kind of bad. But
Right.
the Dimension Valley is so good with cards like Weezing that can attack with one attachment if you have that in play. But he goes for Naganadel, which is a very strong pick for the start here.
Yeah, I have seen the Gandalf get used in decks like Raichu with the Circle Circuit attack, just as extra. It's a way to set up damage. Um, but I see it mostly performing well in decks with Gigalith that need extra energy in play to discard, or even decks like Swampert, which has sort of a Quagnag ability that allows you to push up water energies. So it benefits for stuff like that. But there's a variety of decks you can use it with. We are going to see the Mysterious Treasure there as well. Maybe just one of the good search cards, although it's kind of narrow. And it looks like they might be making a different pick. They're going for the Ditto Prism Star. My only issue with Treasure would have been that you don't exactly, you have one Psychic type, but you don't know if that card's actually going to be useful if you don't end up playing one of the Psychic lines or Hydreigon. The Ditto Prism Star is a little bit more open, especially when you have, like, if you're on a Tekken and a Ganadel, for instance, you could play it in those kind of decks. It is a card you kind of got to be wary about early because it is something that isn't always going to be great. Like in a stage 2 deck, it's never like the best pick because, so you can't Rick Andy onto it. But he's going for the pick I would actually take him in this pack, which is the Quick Ball, just generically good consistency. And when you're looking at your early packs, you really got to value the consistency cards because those get taken up really quick. Davi, do you think you would have landed on Quick Ball, or would you maybe have seen something else in this pack that you liked?
Uh, I, I've, I'm thinking about that DC. I'm looking at some of the attackers here. Many Pokemon in this cube want to attack with DC. Some Blazikens, most Chestnut, some Gengars, most Gigaliths. I think one Hydreigon attacks with DC also. Of course, the Weezings, the Raichus, and I think Cricketune, Revenge Body is also DC. But I really like the Quick Ball. It's just good consistency for any deck. Now JL can go for something like a Jirachi, a Celeration, or a Wishing Star, or any other Pokemon like a Cleffa is way stronger when you have like an item search. You can turn one, since we are using RS through PK rules here. You can use items on your first turn. You can just slam that card, and oh, this is a really good pack, and I think he goes for the right card.
Yeah, the Hydreigon break. There's only one in the cube, but it's a huge line. It's a huge component of the Hydreigon line, if you can find it. So Hydreigon break having 190 HP, also having that attack that is 150, and doing I think 50 to let me see, doing 50 to
Yeah,
the
for
two
two.
different yeah
Yeah.
two different Pokemon. So it's a way you can set up a lot of you can almost bench snipe something in 2 turns. It has a ton of HP, so it can be kind of hard to deal with. It can't quite get as big as stuff like Chestnut just because of the retreat cost, but it is one of the best cards in the line, especially if you're thinking Hydreigon. You can take early. So having that card in your draft pool is definitely gives you a good sign that maybe that you can get into that line a lot better. So yeah, I definitely understand that pick. Now we're looking at this pack, kind of a lackluster pack to say at the least. Rescue Scarf looks really appealing. Of course, there's also stuff like Lucas Investigation for a little bit of draw support / hand knowledge there. I was gonna take Rescue Scarf because I think it's just good recovery. Davi, do you see anything else in this pack maybe you'd look at?
Maybe I'm looking at either the investigation or the copycat. I don't love rescue scarf just because it's not active.
Mm-hmm.
There are ways that you can play around the rescue scarf, and when you have to, when you like play one last recovery card for rescue scarf and someone plays around it, it just feels really bad. I usually just prefer the active cards, and Lucre's investigation and copycat are just solid cards. They're not crazy draw supporters, but even then, I think I would like to see those just for regular old consistency, right? Draw five is
Yeah.
not great, but maybe some turns your opponent has like a big hand, and you just get a way to make the hand a bit smaller. It's a bit better, and this spec right here is also really good. Second quick ball.
Yeah, Raichu Level X is a really good card, especially when you have stuff like Delcatty or Porygon on the bench. Cleffa from Neo, also a really nice card. Honestly, a good setup starter just because you have to force your opponent to flip, so it can be a bit disruptive. Another quick ball for more consistency, and it looks like JL is going with the Rosa here. Rosa definitely good in like a scenario where you plan on getting knocked out. It's definitely not as good as like, teammates. But I think Rosa does provide a lot of utility, especially in stage 2 decks, because if they take a knockout on, say, like a setup mon, you can just Rosa for the stage 2 plus rare candy. So if you are already maybe leaning into some sort of direction there, although JL doesn't have much to indicate there. But Rosa can be a solid supporter either way. The quick ball also is kind of nice. I almost think I might have taken that, even though I know quick ball isn't as good as say something like ultra ball. Just the high consistency seems to always be nice in this high power setting.
Yeah, I really like the Rosa here. I was playing Hydreigon Break on a cube that was almost like this one, but it also had some GX and some EX Pokemon. Hydreigon was just breaking every archetype there, so I think it's gonna break a few on this cube too. Rosa was really good on that deck. Some turns you just need to get your Stretcher to get the break back, and some turns you just want to get the Candy and the Evolution. Getting the Rosa early means you can go more aggressively to those rare candies. They're really more useful when you have a way to get them. We see here the heavy ball. I have to check the Hydreigon's retreat cost, but I think that JL knows that they're pretty beefy boys, and so he can go for this heavy ball and have a little bit more item search for them.
Yeah, that's true. He can definitely go for a. I don't actually remember the retreat cost on the Hydreigons off the top of my
So
head.
I'm looking at here. Weed Out Hydreigon is the only one that has 2 retreat costs, the one that discards from your own bench. All the other Hydreigon have 3, except for Break, right? Break doesn't have a retreat costs,
Right.
but
Yeah.
4 out of 5 of the Hydreigon have a retreat cost that can the heavy ball can get. And we see here more packs. I'm pretty sure that JL is gonna go hard on Hydreigon now. He doesn't see a lot of other cards on the line yet, but you're not really getting punished. He has a bit of wheeling information. He saw, I think, 1 or 2 Dino and Zualius on the other packs, and if those cards don't come back, then you start going after a second archetype. But I think this early, you have to go hardcore into Hydreigon. You just got one of the best attackers in the cube, a way to reset energies back with Naganadel, and it Oh, he's second. He's thinking about it. He's not going straight for the candy yet.
So I
Or
will
is he?
say that I think JL has to tread a little bit more carefully though. I mean, I agree with this pick so far. Don't get me wrong. I think all of the cards he's drafted so far can be good, even if he doesn't get into Hydreigon. The issue sometimes you find yourself in though is like even if you get a really good card early, like Hydreigon Break, um, you aren't necessarily guaranteed to get into the line, especially seeing how the draft goes. Now JL might very well find Hydreigons later on, and I kind of hope he does, given what he has so far. But you never know what other people are thinking, so you kind of got to be careful. And I think in the first pack, it's fine as long as you aren't giving up super crucial picks that could have been good in any other deck. But like stuff like Rare
Of
Candy,
course.
Heavy Ball, there's tons of decks that can be good in that allow him to pivot out of it. He's not really painting himself into a corner here. I would like to see him maybe take the Zealous if he's thinking about getting into the Hydreigon line. He's gonna take the Dark Patch. I don't think Dark Patch is as good in the Hydreigon line just because you already have that ability that accelerates for you, and a lot of them are dragon as well. So you only have a few dark options. Looks like he's gonna go for the Faba. Maybe staying just a little bit more general there. Maybe trying to see if that Zweilous comes back. Kind of hard to say. It's a stage one. Um, but we'll have to see how this ends up turning out.
I have to say that sometimes taking the Zweilous just sends a signal. If someone is looking at that pack and says, okay, Zweilous is out, they know that Hydreigon is not open. And that's kind of good and kind of bad. They can go after
Mm-hmm.
Hydreigon for hate picking, but
Well,
they also will not go for the entire line, right?
someone already knows the break isn't there because that went around a few packs or a few.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't be there for sure. Like if I see
Mm-hmm.
that card, I'm 100%
Yeah.
sure that it's not gonna be there.
Yeah, I know the mysterious treasure coming back is actually a really good sign for JL here. I'm surprised that actually made it around so far. It's a really good consistency card for a lot of different lines, but honestly, it's a insane signal for JL. Obviously, it doesn't give him solace in the fact that it's open, but it is a really nice card to find, especially late. That could mean people aren't really too interested in any of the psychic or dragon lines at this point. Um, and I think D Valley was in the same pack, so I mean, I could understand if someone's between the two, which like that you would take D Valley. But either way, Treasure coming in this late is a really good pickup for Jail here.
Yeah, it's gonna improve his consistency so much. I'm looking at the line. Only 3 Dinos out of 8, I think, are dark, and all of the Zoilos are dragons.
Yep.
And the Hydreigon Break is also dragon, obviously. So just as very good consistency card. He already has 3 items that search Pokemon in his deck this early. That's pretty good. That's usually why you like a bad draft ends up with the number of item cards at search. So having just this base early for pretty much anything that you want to build, the treasure is not that useful on other decks, but the heavy ball is. I'm looking at the cube here. There's a lot of big boys. Gigalith, Alolan Golem, Swampert, Chestnut, Hydreigon, they all have 3 or more retreat. So the heavy ball is searching for a lot of cards.
Yeah, that's why I like Heavy Ball in this cube. I thought it rewards you for at least understanding what the lines are. And it's a card that isn't often like as good as it would be normally, so it's kind of nice to have a card like that with more utility. This pack's kind of interesting. There's a lot of decent cards in here. The Electro Power is really good in Lightning deck, especially like a Alolan Golem. The Blaziken Firestarter is a really good piece to the Blaziken deck, just keeping the deck very mobile and able to accelerate. Roxy's obviously good if you can find yourself maybe some of those coughings and wheezings, because there are 2 extra wheezings with the Roxy synergy in this cube just to help with that. It looks like he's going for the Blaziken. I guess maybe also just some coverage in case he doesn't get into Hydreigon. He's at least got a really good stage 2 that he can pivot into. The 2 Minchinos also could be a way to preserve a basic in case you get into Chinchino. But yeah, there's a lot of different directions. It does none of it fits into I guess what he's really thinking of right now. Granted, I'm not in Jail's head, so I don't know for sure what he's thinking. But if I had to guess, looking at his pool, he's looking at probably Hydreigon. So none of those pieces really fit into that line. But he does have a little bit of security thinking. Okay, well now I have Blaziken just in case maybe fire is open. I don't get a Hydreigon. A little bit more safety there. So I like that pick. Davi, did you feel like that was maybe your pick too?
Yeah, for sure. Having such a strong card late in the pack signals that that line is very open. It's really hard to think that there are 2 Blazikens on that pack. So getting the Blaziken means that if by any chance someone is also in Hydreigon, because we are not seeing many Dinos and Xylos here, maybe Blaziken is your secondary line. He's just kind of preparing for the worst. I like this because that Blaziken is just gonna go around and not be played if that doesn't happen. And the pack was not great, So we see a Dino coming back here. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good
Yeah.
signal. But he does not go for Dino.
Just going for the Poiple here. I wonder why. It seems like an interesting. Oh, okay. Maybe switching it over. I was gonna say, looking back, I do agree with him actually letting those wireless go through because I actually do think that's a good signal. If cause you're very speculative into Hydreigon at this moment, just because you have no Hydreigons in your draft pool. So if those wireless does not come back, or even this Dino didn't come back, you'd have some good insight going into pack 2. So that's something you often want to make sure you're doing. Well, I always say make sure you're doing. It's a case by case basis, but something you can do is letting some pieces wheel. And if they don't come back, then that's a good signal for you that maybe someone else is interested in that line, because you don't ever want to be highly contested into any line you're drafting. Just on the premise that if you and someone else are drafting the same line, you're not going to get the best pieces to it, and then you're probably not going to be building the best deck of it. So always got to make sure the line you're going into is uncontested. Having cards like Hydreigon Break in your pool definitely makes other people less interested in the lines, because Hydreigon Break it has options it can manage through, but it's less good without the break.
Of course. Yeah.
And 2 dinos coming back to back, that's really good for JL.
Yeah, that's one of the best signals you can get. The last few packs here are not gonna get much stronger. He's probably getting the Trumbeaks only as a hate draft for the control archetype. There's a pretty good control archetype in this cube, actually. And these 2 Trumbeaks are a big part of it. It's kind of unfortunate that they came around really early.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the control archetype is now, I'm not saying it's dead, but it's probably dead. Not that
I
that's
wouldn't
the
say
line
it's dead.
there.
But I would say that I think it's an indicator no one's probably going for control, because if you're thinking of drafting something like Slowking control, you probably would have taken those already. And the Zuelas coming back in the second to last deck, that's an insane sign for JL.
Yeah, if he thought that Hydreigon was open before, now he is sure that Hydreigon's open. One of the line toppers came back with it, the Umbreon with Moonlight Veil that takes out weakness and retreat cost from your evolutions. Not a great card. There's only a few evolutions. I think there's a pretty good deck of the Lunatic Sense Umbreon in this cube, but he goes for the Umbreon.
That's
Really?
surprising. I would have taken the Zuelas here for sure. But maybe
That's
he
a
wants to have the option to go into Umbreon, but he didn't take the Dark Patch either. So I kind of feel like he maybe is. That's like the worst Umbreon probably for the line, but it's like, it has good utility. Um,
But he trades it for the Xylo, so it's
yeah,
okay.
maybe he's just keeping. Maybe he's trolling us. No, I'm kidding. Always interested to hear what people's thought process are too. So I might ask him about that later, because I mean, you never know. Like, maybe there's another thought in mind that you want to go for, or there's something obviously maybe like I'm not seeing or we're not seeing. But I mean, I thought this first pack was drafted very well by JL. Getting the Hydreigon break early is definitely what you want to do, because that's not a card you're going to find a wheel, but you are going to need to take good cards like that in order to have a line. The Heavy Ball and the Rare Candy and the Rosa, I mean, those are pretty much safe cards for anything. I forgot he also took the Faba. That's some really good Cetacean Crystal hate. Mysterious Treasure coming back. Again, very good. Good sign for your line being open. Not to mention finishing out the two basics and one stage 1 to end off the pack. Honestly, I mean, like, that's pretty solid in my book.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty good pack for him. And we'll see if this deck continues to go as good as it has been. And he sees a second charging up Ganadel.
He goes right for it here. I'm guessing he's trying to maybe draft it with if he gets into Hydreigon, of course. And maybe he's thinking it would work with the Energy Trans one to help him recycle energies, but um, I don't know. I think since Hydreigon already has a Dark Patch, I don't know how decent it is over the admin and other stuff. So it looks like we are gonna see him pick the admin. Oh, no. Spoke too soon.
Yeah, honestly, Rocket's admin is N for that matter
Mhm.
are cards that just win games. They're a consistency card that wins games. If you can get like one Versus Seeker or just one Lapras, and it's unfortunate that the Lapras is on the same pack as the Rocket's admin. This card is so strong. It's so good for your deck. I would pick Rocket's admin over many, many, many different cards in different cubes, but there are a lot of good cards in this pack. Buff padding works with like one of the Hydrogons. I mean, nope, it doesn't. Sorry, they're all 3 retreats, not 4 retreats. He has to think here about getting like Evo Instance is good. Rare Candies is not first pickable in this pack, I'd say. The second Naganadel, I don't love just because you have the Dark Squall Hydreigon. You have infinite attachments. So, like, just a Fisherman or a Superior Energy Retrieval are so strong with those. You don't really need the Naganadel. Like, they're not bad, but they're not as necessary. Lapras and Rocket's admin are so good in this deck. Having a Lapras for that Rosa or for that Faba is just so useful such a useful tool to have. And the Rocket's admin is just like a, a 5-star card in my opinion.
I think
And
admin in a high power cube especially can be really nice just because if decks get really aggressive, you can reset them down. He is gonna go with the Neganadel here. I wonder if maybe he's thinking that's gonna work really well for the Hydreigon line. I mean, he definitely can. But I just think compared to admin, man, admin's got a lot of utility. It's gonna be working in any deck you can play. It's such a great supporter, and honestly, JL's really lacking in draw supporters. In fact, JL doesn't have any draw supporters. Because Rosa isn't really a draw supporter; it's more of a search card that I think the admin's almost just necessary here.
yeah, and he goes for it. That's pretty good. He thought about a lot. He was thinking about the Naganadel and the Rocket's admin. He was never considering like the Lapras or the Candy. Yeah, those are the two strongest cards on that pack. Now he's looking at this. This pack is kind of lacking. There is a lot of evolution pieces and evolution items. Evo Instance is way better than Evo Soda since you can rare Candy, the evolution that you search.
Right.
Capture energy also pretty good, but this deck I think you want a lot of basic energy.
Yeah, I think Evo Instance is just safe. Definitely a good pickup. It can go in pretty much any other deck. There's a lot. Oh my gosh, there's 2 combustions, 2 Torchics in this pack. That's it's not the
Ugh.
saddest thing, but I mean, with only 6 combustions in the pack, there's only 4 left. I don't think anyone was really on fire at the start of it, so maybe not a huge reason to be sad. Strong Energy is gonna be really good for either the Gigalith or the Gliscor decks. Everything else is kind of like so. You still got stuff like Rescue Energy, which can be good. And then Capture Energy, like you said, guidance consistency. But I would probably take the Evo Instance, and then maybe the Evo Soda after that. And now we're looking at a new pack here. We have a Pont or a Cynthia, Shuffle Draw 6, a Level Ball, Iris for extra damage support. We have a Prof Letter, which I think would be a more greedy pick. I would pick the Pont here just because I think you're going to definitely need draw supporters. As he only has one so far. Davi, any thoughts on this pack? I think the Pont makes sense to me, but I could obviously see something else in this pack.
Yeah, one thing that I have to say is that the more I play Cube, the less I like Pont. It's still really good. Don't
Mm-hmm.
don't like mistake my quote there. But maybe if JL had worse items, maybe I'd go for the level ball. But he has already really strong items, so Pont here is for sure the right pick. He can't go for the Iris now. I think you have kind of a few slots on your deck to use on non-consistent supporters. He already has the Rose and the Faba. Maybe he doesn't need to use those cards, of course. But taking the Iris there would be just so greedy. He needs the consistency from Pont. And this is kind of a bad pack also. He goes for Windstorm, maybe?
I'm gonna go for Slugmo. I guess, I'm scared to say what he's gonna go for because I could.
He always changes, yeah.
I mean, he's got different options here, and I kind of see where he's going with this. Um, Maybe the Windstorm's just the fastest option into getting rid of stuff like Cessation Crystal, or actually, I don't know if anyone's gonna play it yet. But the Battle Frontier does shut off Hydreigon, but not when it's Break Evolved though, so it's probably not actually as worried about it. But yeah, Slugma would have been okay. Um, Windstorm, I guess, just to have the tool rule, but you already have Faba, so I don't know if you actually need it. I might have liked something like the Repeat Ball if you're playing a lot of Hydreigons.
Yeah. Is there a 4 of limit in this cube?
No, you can play as much as you want.
Oh, so like playing 6 Dino and a repeat ball would be really good. He
Yeah.
goes for yeah, we're not gonna say what he goes for until like the pack actually
Well, he's got some
turns
interesting
here.
choices here. So Reverse Valley is not as good for Hydreigon just because you're mostly a Dragon type. The Power Hand extension actually could be really insane because you are kind of a slower deck as a stage 2. So you don't immediately go ahead. So Pow can be really good with that break attack. But maybe he's figuring he wants to fill out those Naganadel lines if he's thinking Naganadel is going to end up in his deck.
He has Rosa also for the POW, which is really good for the turn you use Rosa. You're probably using POW anyway. So and with a strong attacker like Hydreigon Break, that's super good. Going for Poipole here, it's fine. DC is not that great on his deck. Um, Hydreigon break attacks for Psychic, Dark, Colorless. So you
Well,
already have to run a few Psychics, right? And a lot of
well,
Dark.
what's important right now though is that JL doesn't have a deck yet.
Yeah,
That's
that's true.
something I think oftentimes players want to keep in mind is like even when you're this far at the draft, like if you don't have your line toppers, and I'm not saying you need to have everything at this point, but you need to draft a little bit more cautiously. Like that like, well, I don't have the Hydreigons yet, but I need to at least take things that maybe could open me up into a different line. So you don't want to get too zoned in at this point. Granted, if those Hydreigons come through, I mean, JL is going to have a pretty sick, nasty deck going on, but I've lost plenty of drafts of my own, getting really confident by having insane pieces that just never, and the rest never came through. So you do have to err a little bit of caution when you get to this point, which I think JL's doing a really good job of navigating that. Like honestly, um, looking at his picks, what he's actually taken has been very open, which is good. I think if he gets into that Hydreigon stuff, he's gonna be good off. But I think he's sending a lot of generally just good pieces, and he has plenty of time to pivot if he needs to. He's definitely not too like alarmed yet. But I think he's at least stayed open, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at this pack,
The DC is also good with Blaziken. There is kind of like one of his second options, and yep, that's it.
and he could also take the Shaman level X here, or Shaman EX here, I should say, and be able to use the Sky.
For sure gonna take the Shaman EX. I think it's crazy to not get the Shaman EX in this pack.
With no Lysander or real like immediate gust effects, other than like counter catchers or POWs. Like the Shaman EX is a lot safer. You can counter around it when it's gonna happen. Sky Return you can use to pick it up off the board. So I mean that's always a good option for you. Everything else is kind of just Pokemon here, so I don't know any of it's really of interest to him. Maybe he's thinking about the Poiple because he was considering it last time, but Shaman EX was set up draw 6. It's just an insane ability, especially in a stage 2 deck.
Mm-hmm. And that was a pick 7 Shaman EX, which is completely crazy for me.
Well,
that pack must have been loaded.
I think that, or some people get kind of gun shy with Shaman EX just because of the extra prizes.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you see that kind of pass around because people are like, I don't think I want to give it 2 prizes to like a Gust card. But honestly, Shaman EX wields a ton of value just because of that draw power, and then the fact that you can just pick it up, which was Sky Return, which you don't often go for, but in a deck like Hydreigon that can just accelerate as much energy as it wants, generally is pretty good. Looks like he's reconsidering the Floatstone pick here. I don't blame him. There's like a lot of different options you can go for. Obviously, I wouldn't take the Zweilous here, but I could definitely see taking like what he's taking the Evo Sense here or the Rare Candy. I think the Evo Sense is definitely the most safe pick. JL's definitely been drafting pretty safe. He's got his like the end of his line he filled out pretty late in that last pack, so that was good. I think he's just kind of seeing what wheels back to him, which is good. I definitely can appreciate that.
Yeah, he's drafting pretty safe. I like the amount of item search he has. They're universally good. There's no really big basics archetype in this cube. So these Evoensises and even the Rare Candy, they can be played with a lot of different decks. He goes for the Poipo here. I think seeing so many Combuskins and
I would
Torchics,
I would probably
gonna...
take I would probably take Combustion here if it was me, just because I think that since you have the one Blaziken, like you can already have a little bit of that line started. So if you need to transition to that, you have to commit less picks to it. I don't think the point, unless he's really thinking that Ganondorf is going to be a big part of his deck, then I can say I get it.
Yeah, he thought about a lot of the Poipo packs in a few packs back, so I can see why he goes for Poipo. I also like just pick one of the Combuskin. I think he knows that Blaziken is wide open, and maybe one of the Combuskins will just come in a later pack. He can reliably wheel Combuskin. We can safely say that. And we see a Professor's Ladder here, really good in a Hydreigon deck that doesn't exist right now. This Lugma also comes back, which is... But he goes for Torchic. That's a good pick, I think. Because he saw 2 already. Maybe 1 comes back. I don't know if the numbers on the pack were too few for the Torchic to wheel. But having 1 Torchic here, it's fine, right? It's just your second option.
Yeah, and this is like why I wish he would have taken the Combustion, is because if he's gonna try to fill out that line, like you only have so many picks to like do those plays until you have to make sacrifices. So I mean, I don't think Naganadel works that well in Hydreigon personally. So like I think the having the option to go into Blaziken, because I mean, so at the end of pack 2, you still haven't seen a Hydreigon. You're like your eyes squint a little bit. You're like a little bit wary, but he's gonna take another Poipole here. How many Torchics have we seen go through?
I think we saw 5 because there
Wow,
are 2 together. Then there are 2 together now, and he has 1. So I'm pretty sure there are
it's a lot of Torchic
5.
to have gone through. There are 8 of them total. So,
I think
um,
Blaziken is just kind of dead as a line, just because most of your basics are gone. You don't want
well,
to make your
I think
your
if
main
you're,
line have like
I think if you're
he can,
JL though, you could definitely take the Torchic here and be fine.
oh yeah,
If
if
there
he
are three,
doesn't take the torch here, I mean,
yeah,
because then you can only get 3 at most, and you that's pretty bad.
yeah, I might end up taking Torchic again here, but then I mean, I definitely feel like maybe he's leaning more into the Naganadel here. Um, which I mean, he might have an idea for it, so I mean, totally valid. And we see the Dino coming
Hmm.
back. This is, I mean, what I like about JL's strategy here is that he's not being too aggressive about taking those basics because, honestly, they don't hold a lot of value at this point. But if they come back to him in these late parts of the pack, that's a really good sign. And he's not really having to waste that. He's not having to sacrifice so many picks. He's already going to be at 3 basics for the Dino. And we'll see if the Zweilous comes back. But if
Hmm.
you're JL, you're definitely really hoping no one's taking the Hydreigons. I think based on the dinos coming back, like if someone had a Hydreigon, I feel like they might have taken these already because there wasn't a lot of strong pieces for that deck outside of like what we saw already. So we are gonna see him take in a Alolan Dugtrio, uh, one of my favorite cards in the cube. But I think right now it's kind of like, well, I mean, if he ever wants to play, I think he's probably gonna play either Blaziken or Hydreigon. At this point, we'll see where he goes, but I guess having one of those line toppers isn't a bad option. It's kind of hard once you get to the very end of the pack. It's like, well, I don't want any of these cards, but
Oh my god, this is the 6th Torchic, and this is pack 2.
oh yeah, I definitely agree with the Zweilous. I think Blaziken's probably dead at this point just because some of the basics have gone through untaken.
Yeah,
Uh,
everyone has a Torchic in this spawn for sure.
Worth noting though, in the most recent run of my cube that I ran in person, Blaziken actually went undefeated.
Oh
And
god.
dominated even the Hydreigon deck, which was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I
It's
can
just
see how it does. Like, if someone like pack 1 pick 1's a fire starter, I can see a very, very strong Blaziken deck
it's just
going around. But
very
yep,
fast, and if your deck isn't set up to deal with like a ton of damage on turn 2, or like just really a quick and producing like lots of attackers back to back, because some of these decks kind of need a few turns to come back if like their main attacker gets knocked out unexpectedly. So sometimes Hydreigon, like even Hydreigon, if it loses the break, might need a lot of pieces to come back from. But Blaziken probably not going to make a strong appearance this time around, just because I don't think I haven't seen much interest in it yet. And honestly, this is actually one of the scariest parts to be in a draft. It's when most of the basics for a line have gone through. Because if you haven't been paying attention, that line will appear extremely open towards the end of the draft, maybe even mid draft. So if you haven't been paying attention to how many Torchics have gone through, it's going to be deceptively open for someone to think that okay, I can go ahead and draft Blaziken, but then you end up with no basics. So players got to be really careful when they start seeing more Blazikens come through. That line is indeed not open here. And oh my gosh, tons of line toppers in this pack. Double Swampert, Fog Crystal, good for psychic types. Cynthia, another heavy ball. There's a lot of good picks in this pack.
yeah, Shaman and Shaman level X, and not any Shaman Celebration one, which is pretty good. Not in this deck specifically, because there's the Dark Trance one. This pick is crazy. I don't know what the right pick here is. Cynthia is just the safe pick. It goes on any deck. You will never
Yeah.
be sad to pick this. Super Odd is also pretty interesting because his only recovery card right now is a Rescue Scarf, which is not great. Having a Super Odd would be way more useful for like the line toppers, the Hydreigon Break back in the deck. Heavy Ball, as we discussed, is pretty good, but it gets worse the more you get it. Since, as you can see, the Zweilous in this pack has only 2 retreat. Someone is making a crazy Swampert pack out of this for
Oh my
sure.
gosh. Yeah. If he actually probably, well, this other power draw wheel. I don't know. It might. Pack's pretty nuts.
I've seen Zach Crackler make a deck out of like double Meganium EX on pack 3, so
Yeah.
this is
I mean, it
doable
could
for sure.
definitely have. You're definitely right about that.
Yeah, he goes for Cynthia, which I think it's very correct. There's never a world where you're
Hmm.
sad picking Cynthia. So the rest of this pack is just kind of great all around. Everyone will be happy to see this. Even
Yeah.
JL of wheeling the Xylos, which will for sure wheel on that pack. Oh my. Look at this. Again, this pack 3 is amazing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like Erica's on the top is pretty good. Ultra Ball, Via Seeker, all really solid, just generic cards. You still got stuff like Chestnut Break. This
Gigalith
is
also.
Gigalith's also in this pack. Yep. So the tons of line toppers in this pack. It's kind of hopefully it's some of the cards some people have been looking for. But Erica is just a really nice card. Being able to draw 3, you would think having your opponent draw 3 cards would be kind of bad, but actually it turns out you don't really care, especially when you have stuff like admin that you can lower their hand with. But especially in a high power cube, you really just want to be consistent. And if your deck's built strongly, there are times where you don't even care if your opponent sets up here. It sets up. I mean, if your deck sets up and it's just better, then there you go. JL has actually this is a good sign for JL because Clara, Retriever, Clara, like that. If one of those makes it back in the ordinary route, if one of the recovery cards makes it back in this pack, um, he's got a really good start. He's got some consistency there, so it allows him to take cards like Quick Ball. This pack's actually kind of nuts too. Double Quick Ball,
Wheezing.
Wheezing. The second sight, Slow Kings, one of the best Slow Kings for the line. It's basically just let you look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. So it really enables hand lock. Just a lot of good cards in that pack.
Yeah, someone in this pack got Shaman Level X, Chestnut Brock, Shaving Level
Which
Chestnut Break, sorry, and the second Shaman Level X back to back to back. So someone in this
yeah,
draft is very happy right now.
I'm a little bit frightened for JL right now because we haven't seen a single Hydreigon. That doesn't mean they've been taken. But this is always a scary part to be in the draft because Blaziken was kind of his fallback in some way, but Blaziken's kind of dead as we pointed out because of the basics being gone. So I mean, you still have some packs left. Like we're less than halfway through the draft, but it's a little bit alarming when you get to the midway through pack 3 and you have not seen your stage 2 yet.
Yeah,
um
that usually happens once or twice. When I played this cube back, 4 of my chestnut were in the same pack, the last pack, 4 of them. So like sometimes it's unlucky and they all come like clumped, and sometimes someone
yeah.
is getting a very good hate draft out of their packs. Like they see nothing and a Hydro Gun, and so whatever, take the Hydro Gun. Even knowing when a Hydro Gun break is in, it's hard to say. Um, we see a very good pack here also. This last pack has been insane.
Yeah,
The
lots of
quality
great
of
cards
cards
coming through
here.
here for sure. I like
Level Ball getting picked late, and the Flowstone even there. Flowstone's super good.
yeah, even stuff like Erica's gonna be really nice. Just like it's definitely a less good Stevens advice, but I mean that effect still it slaps on a full
Yeah,
on a
that's
full
pretty good.
board. You also have stuff like Karina as well. It's a little bit more niche, but good supporter. Um, yeah, very interesting. Uh, we do see 2 more combustions. I guess birds of a feather flock together. So we see him taking twins here. That's draw supporter. I can't say I mind that as much. Um, like these combustions look mighty tempting, but man, you've seen all those Torchics go through. It honestly starts becoming kind of a trap.
Yeah, you'd never go for the Combustions here
Yeah,
anymore.
unless you have unless you have taken like Torchics, like you have like
Oh yeah, of
maybe
course.
3 or 4, the combustions are fine. But this is
Not when you
where
have one.
I've definitely seen it to where like the basics get split around by the whole table, and then like if you end up with like your line isn't working out, so you have to pivot. It can be very hard to like remember what happened like 3 or 4 packs ago, especially when it happens early. So I always gotta be cautious. Just maybe out of PTSD of some bad drafts I've had.
Yeah, that happens to all of the good drafters, all of the bad drafters. Happens to everyone.
It's how you learn, honestly, to
Yep.
pay attention. But
Mm-hmm.
we are seeing a Gengar come through here as well. We did see someone pick up that D Valley, so interested to see if anyone's on the Gengar line. Um,
And here's the D Valley.
oh, so yeah, so there are 2 D Valleys in the cube. We just see another Blaziken, Counter Catcher. I'm surprised that's still here. Um, Counter Gain, which isn't is it's a good card, but it's not like the best card. It offers you a little bit more cheap attacks. And we have an Oracle, which is like a Mallow. I would honestly take the counter catcher here, just because it's not really a pick here you're too concerned with. I don't think he wants the Blazikins, but he might. I don't. I wish he would have taken the Torchics because this would have been a little bit easier to pivot into.
Yeah.
But this is actually tough because the situation being that you don't have any of your line toppers yet, besides I guess the Hydreigon break. So like Blaziken's really the only other thing you have started, and you've seen now we've seen all the combustions
Oh, yeah.
because we've
No,
seen
you
all six.
cannot go
So
for this
you can't really
Blaziken.
bark up that bush either.
Nope.
Um,
He does have
ugh.
Mono on Dugtrio, so that's like his third plan, which is not bad.
Yeah, the
Maybe?
thing with Alonzo Trio though is you need pieces for it like Coronets, retrievers, super energy retriever. So it could be a little bit weird to get into. I
Hmm.
think counter catcher is like your I guess safest. He's gonna go for the Blaziken. Oh, it's kind of risky
Oh,
because
that's super
he only has
risky.
one combustion, right? Am I
Yes.
wrong? Okay.
And one Torchic.
Yeah,
And 5 other Torchics are gone. 5 or 6, I don't remember.
yeah, a lot of them. I'm almost too worried about the combustions here because um, there's two of them in one pack, and you're not getting both of them. So you can end up with maybe three combustions. I guess that
Uh,
could work, but like you don't know how many Torchics are like you. It just seems really. I would give up on Blaziken at this point. It just seems like it's not. It's going to be an uphill battle to even speculatively get to as a fallback. Um, we're going to see the Oracle here.
yeah.
Hopefully a Hydreigon comes through for JL, because then that would help him figure out if people are taking Hydreigons or if he just hasn't seen them. Because honestly, I haven't looked yet. I'm kind of interested to see how this pans out. Not knowing if anyone's taking the Hydreigons yet. But because I've been in this situation before, and I've seen it happen both ways. I've seen it happen to where someone took Hydreigons early and then found something else, and then or Hydreigon as an example, like someone takes a stage 2 early, finds something else they're more interested in, and then pivots. I've also seen it to where like literally all of the line toppers come in the last pack,
Yep.
and sometimes there's just no way of telling which way it's gonna go, and you kind of have to prepare for that. So JL might be, if he doesn't see anything, I think at the beginning of the next pack he might start. I don't want to say panic pivoting, but that's kind of where I'm thinking it's gonna happen. But
Sometimes, like, when you're just you have so many good cards for the line, you just have to go for that.
well,
You're either gonna make a very, very strong Hydreigon break deck, or your deck's gonna be really bad, and that's the end of your draft.
I gotta
Like,
be honest. I mean, I feel like because I'm so used to seeing the cards JL took initially and then switched to, JL has actually managed to stay fairly open here.
yep.
So you know what? Actually, at the end of the day, I think JL actually has set himself up in a pretty good position. I think it gets tough in these kind of packs, right? Because like you have options to take Swampert here, or if you could take, or you can keep taking the stage ones for this Wellness line, which I wouldn't give up on Hydreigon just yet, just because of how many pieces have gone through. Um, but it is hard. Maybe Swampert
Yeah.
would be a good pick here because it'd be like a speculative Swampert pick just in case. But you already know once Swampert went through. I think what's difficult is that you don't have enough reads to say a Swampert's open. So it's not
Hmm.
the easiest pick here. I think Super Rod's generally, I mean, obviously the best generic pick. Um, this is where it gets tricky, is figuring out if you speculatively go into something like Swampert, you don't know if the other Swamperts have been taken yet. If someone, I mean, obviously one's been taken out of that pack. Um, but this is where it also gets tricky because if someone starts taking like other Hydreigon pieces and they start seeing pieces before you, uh,
Yeah. And this was the pack, not this one, but like it's gonna come soon. The
yeah,
one that had like 2 Claras, one Ordinary Rod, one Retriever.
yeah,
It probably has one of these, so I'd probably go for the Swampert because one, you break the line, someone will not get the Swampert back, and two, you have a decent Swampert. That's a good card. It draws cards. Like in
yeah, generically good.
worst part of your draft, you can make like get that Swampert, get the Washout one. You have one Meganadel. You hope that you get the second one, and
Yeah.
you play a 2/2 line and hope for the best. as many of your cards work well with the Swampert line, I think that would be a little bit more safe.
I would probably also take the rare candy here, just out of like it could in any stage 2 deck. I just don't think the Gandalf's a deck, and you already have 2 Poipole, so like,
Yeah.
I mean, like a third Poipole. I mean, you can fill out the Nagano line, but like I don't know what that really does for you. I could also see taking the Gliscor here because he already has 1 copy of Gligar. Um, Granted, strong energy did not come through, so not the best option, I suppose. Or I could have maybe also seen taking the Dino, but
Yeah. Yeah, the play poll here is where I don't agree with. There are a lot of decent other picks. You already have 2, so you're never gonna be like, oh, if I should have gotten that play poll.
mhm.
But no, no, that's never gonna happen. The second candy would be really good for
Yeah,
like you have one for Rosa and one just to kind of draw it. You also have a twins,
it would
so and
also.
even
I was gonna say it also
go
would
ahead.
help him get into like a line that maybe he doesn't have stage 1s for if he needs to pivot. Which, I mean, I'm not. I mean, I'm hoping out for the best for him, but you know, there's always that option. He also actually could have started taking Slowpoke to maybe get into Slowking. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Not everyone wants to play control, so I definitely understand not wanting to
Yeah,
do that. But having both Trumbeaks and the Slowking, the second sight is honestly like a really good step.
it's a
Um,
start. Yeah.
it's a really good start because I would bet that no one else is going for the other Slowking pieces unless they think that it's worth it.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Nope.
going for the
No.
Dino.
And something else that I noticed, Weezing is super open in this draft. We saw the aftermath
Hmm.
Weezing as a second to last pick. Someone got a last pick Weezing because he got the Zweilous out of that pack.
Yeah.
And this one wheeled this, in my opinion, this deck is amazing. And he already has 1 TC. He has one of the mysterious treasures. The other one of the Weezings already wheeled. I don't remember if a second one wheeled, but just getting that would be also a bit safe. You can play that with a lot of other cards. But that's fine. Picking the Slowking, I think it's really good there. If he has to play control now.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's the thing with Cube though is like if you have to be ready to play whatever is get whatever you get your hands on. So sometimes that ends up being control. If it's between that and just losing out, like if you're trying to, you know, obviously if you're just, you know, don't really care, that's a different story. But like if you're in like a competitive sense, like Cube League or something like that, you just where you do have to be prepared to play whatever gets thrown at you because only so much is in your control. But that's to say he lands on slow. He doesn't have any slow pokes yet. But I would be willing to bet that line's pretty open.
Yeah, we saw I think one of the memory melt ones really early, and the slowpokes we haven't seen as many slowpokes as we've seen Torchic, so I think it's
Yeah.
fine as a second kind of deck. I think we also didn't see any Bunnelby or Sableye, some of the most important cards for that deck. We saw like Plumeria, Team Flagrant, which kind of sucks to not have.
Hmm.
But like if you have to make a B tier um, control deck or like a D tier Hydreigon deck, you go for a control every time.
That's just such a good piece. They could allow him to move over. Jake can. Ooh, really
Nope,
considering
don't
maybe
take
the
the
Diglett.
combustion. Do
I like the Diglett pickup honestly because like
yeah,
he already has the professor's letter. Um, he honestly just and I haven't seen any coronets come through. And there's only one deck that deck it only works. There's only one metal line in this cube, and that's Alone Deck Trio. So coronet honestly doesn't work with as many other lines. Granted, it doesn't stop people from trying it with other things, but there's still 2 coronets hopefully still around he can take. Now, what would be funny, I should say, is if different pieces of these of different lines come together, and then he starts seeing Hydreigon, like, uh,
oops.
which I've been there before. But I feel like JL still has enough generic stuff. He's gonna take the combustion here.
Oh no, Surge is so good for control, and he's kind of on control. So and this combustion is super
Yeah,
useless
Surge
because
Surge
I think
safely at least gives him the option to go into control more safely.
yeah,
But I kind of get it where he's coming from. I don't think there's any world where you're playing Blaziken because I think he passed one Blaziken, right?
yeah, he blasts the flamethrower
Yeah, and
one.
then there's no combustions left outside of
Ooh,
that haven't been picked yet.
that's
Uh,
an open line, sure.
okay, so this Wells comes back. Like you have to assume that maybe no one's seen any Hydreigon pieces yet. So that's my theory, is that no one's seen any Hydreigon pieces yet, so no one's taken it.
Yeah. I
And,
would be hopeful for Hydreigon
and
if I was in
since
JL seat.
well,
Like, look at this.
somebody would
Right.
have taken the Hydreigon stuff if these would not be last picks if someone had a
Yes.
Hydreigon. Like if you
Yes.
had anything that could remotely work with Hydreigon, you would have taken the Dino already.
Yeah. So like if I was JL, I'd be fine waiting for
Yeah.
this Hydreigons. Like he has seen a lot of different signals for
Yeah.
them not being opened, and
Are we gonna see like 5 Hydreigons in one pack though? Like that would honestly
that's a
be.
specialty of your cube because that happened to me. So that's probably gonna happen to another
Yeah, I
person.
actually, it's actually just how my cube works. Is actually all the lines get clumped together, as you can see with the Blazekins and Torchics.
Choose a line, it will come together every time. And now we'll see pack 3. Let's see what the pick one here will be. It's pretty interesting to see. Maybe a Hydra, maybe like a super strong card in general.
Okay, well, no Hydreigon to be found here, but oh my gosh, this pack.
Oh boy,
Ultra
what would you
Ball,
pick here?
Ultra Ball, and Misty's Wrath, VS Seeker. Holy
Lapras and
smack!
Jirachi.
I feel like I see those two in the same pack, like for no reason. I
Yeah.
would take. Oof, I honestly, it's hard for me. I would take Ultra Ball because I don't. Oh no, he has double evolution search. Oh
But he has Shaman EX. Ultra Ball is
yeah,
so
I think
good.
Ultra Ball is probably my pick. As much as it's between that and N, but he already has. I don't know. He draws away. He's taking a Scythia, a Pont, an
And
Admin.
a Rockets and yeah, one. But
It's
that's
either
not a lot, right?
yeah. He's got what? He's got a lot of incense and quick ball level. I would probably. I think he's checking actually to see what he has here. I saw double evil incense, heavy ball, level ball, mysterious treasure, quick ball. Okay, I would take N here. I forgot he
Yeah.
had treasure. Yeah, no, treasure makes like it's just a great consistency. He also just has double incense. Like he's got enough. Like got a lot of consistency already. Double quick ball. I think N as a draw supporter is just so good.
Yeah, the same thing with Vadman. They're the same card.
Or I was gonna say
Very
Lapras would also be a good pick.
Yeah, he has two
Uh,
quick ball, Shaman, and a Lapras. That's not bad. That's pretty good.
yeah. I mean, I feel like there's always a right pick, but I mean, he really can't go wrong with any of these.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Padding out consistency is never bad. I think, and in general, N is only bad on
yeah.
very, very few specific
If you
moments
have
in the game.
if you have zero draw, it's probably bad because like you hurt yourself. But I think in
Yeah.
most decks, my only issue with Lapras would be Hydreigon takes a lot of bench spots. Granted, there is the one that thins out the bench, so maybe
Mm-hmm.
Lapras is fine. And it's a great card. Don't get me wrong. I
Yeah.
mean, support nav, searching out supporter from your deck, just like Tapu Lele, GX, just great card. And maybe that's really the thing for Hydreigon too, is that you can use it to thin out your bench. Wow. Holy mackerel. Double Delcatty in the same pack.
Hello. How many Delcatty are in your queue,
There
by the way?
are three
3.
of the
Yep.
energy draw and one of the one that grabs back two supporters.
No, JL is getting the wrong Delcatty. Ruby and Sapphire
Yeah,
original
honestly, huge mistake here.
100%.
It's probably gonna be the reason he doesn't find Hydreigons.
Yep.
It's because we will be able to cite this one instance would be the reason why. Oh man, if Devoured Field doesn't come back, I'd be really scared.
There's no other Dark line, right?
There's
Dragon line.
there's Umbreon and Hydreigon. That's why the Devour Field doesn't come back. I'm scared.
Yeah, but it surely comes back. I'd say this pack
Oh
is so
yeah,
good.
but if it doesn't,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'd be looking at the card and be like, please come back. I need that
That's a
Psy.
signal. Yeah, he goes instantly for Naganadel, which is a bit
Oh,
weird.
I know there's another treasure in the pack too. Honestly, I get it. Like at this point, you need to find something, and you get it all. You can probably pair with something and make it work. But yeah, just I really wish. I'm sure you wish you could take the treasure here. I mean, I don't know. I kind of would have taken treasure, but honestly,
Yeah, looking at his, I think getting a lot of the same card like this, it has diminishing returns. Like there will be times where your treasures will be dead. In the Hydreigon deck, not really. There are, I think your main Hydreigon is Dark type, the Dark Squall one,
Yeah.
and that doesn't search that specific card. So it's not a bad pick per se,
No.
but I agree with the Nagana though. He's like, I need to attack. That does 3 for 80.
Yeah.
It's a fine. It's not great, but it attacks.
I could honestly see also maybe taking the Umbreon here, um, just to start finding lines to maybe go into. But
Maybe that's a bit too much.
Umbreon takes a lot. My only fear for your JL is that the Hydreigons don't come through. He doesn't have anything.
But it's the signal so strong that it's
Yeah.
just there. It's somewhere over there. How many picks does he have? He has 45 picks. That's not
Yeah.
a lot, but I've seen worse. I've
Yeah.
seen this clumps of a single evolution way back in the deck in the packs.
Yeah.
Um,
My fear
Stevens,
is
go
my
ahead.
fear
Sorry.
for him though is that like, we're gonna get pretty close to this pack, and even if Hydreigon, no one's on it, and it's just the best line topper in the pack, people might still take it. So when you kind of have to start fishing for something. Well, you have time to pivot if you need to. Where like even while Steven's Advice is a great card, this is my opinion. I mean, I could be wrong.
Mhm.
But
Yep.
like even though Steven's Advice is a great card, you have nothing to go off of yet. Now, granted, here's some stuff to go off of here. And I honestly would have taken, I don't know, maybe if you feel confident the Hydreigon's open, and it very well might be, this is fine. But I would honestly probably have taken the Dugtrio just to start having something else to play just in case. Just
But I
because,
also think that this drug trio wills really easily because if you have
yeah,
Super Rod, Sinlin, Level Ball, Curse Stone. Curse Stone is not as good in this cube, but you have a lot of strong packs with this. Even the Manaphy is better in
yeah, that's
general
true. In this
than
pack
this
specifically,
trio.
Dugtrio wheels.
Yeah.
Um, Hopefully, but um, yeah, I mean, I'm a little nervous for JL. Not that I think JL's done anything like wrong, or I just think in the situation you're in, you kind of have to start, um, you know, leveraging, seeing like, okay, well,
Oh,
that
here's one. Here's one.
okay, that's a good sign. Okay,
Not the best
so
one, but it's workable.
you just need one. You just need to find one, especially because like that means less people have taken it. Oh
Yeah.
my
And this
gosh,
is
look at this
pick
pack though.
6.
Delcatty, Pick Six, Delcatty, Steven's Advice.
Left
uh,
of Radium Forest. Yep.
that's crazy, but you never know what was also in that pack. But okay, so JL can rest a little bit easier, getting at least one Hydreigon. I think he needs a powerful scroll
Oh,
for it
of
to
course,
work.
yes.
But the fact that no one's taking the Hydreigon yet,
Oh yeah, this is pick 6 Hydreigon. Like seeing this, I am very fine with going full
yeah,
Hydreigon now because if people didn't get this Hydreigon and there are still a lot of good picks in this pack, they're not gonna pick this Hydreigon like
yeah.
other Hydreigons in later packs. Only very specific instances of hate drafting, but
I still think taking
you,
the Steven's Advice or the Ultra Ball was risky, but
oh yes, it
I
was.
don't
It was
necessarily
not
disagree with
punished.
it. But I mean, we're obviously getting somewhere, so this is good progress.
Ooh,
Another
Hans
Delcatty.
Castform is really good for his deck.
Yeah, especially because you can just recycle the dark energies and just reattach
Yep.
them.
Yes. Not having one of the Claras there hurt because you can take like triple energy with Clara
Yeah,
when you have a Holmescast farm. Yeah, Holmescast farm is for sure the best pick here. It's one of the best cards in Cube in general. Having your like quick balls become energy search, it's so strong. It's one of the most underrated cards in Cube in general, in my opinion.
yeah. Oh, I definitely agree. Because Castform, I mean, it's a basic. So like Quick Ball can even search out. But it's
Mhm.
essentially a a double rainbow, two
Yep.
rainbow energies. But I mean, the only drawback is you have to take an energy back from your Pokemon. But in a deck like Hydreigon, that could just be another attachment. So, since Hydreigon requires mixed energy, the cast form honestly is such a great pick. And just as I'm saying that,
Nope, he goes
I,
back for
I,
it.
s- I, s-
Nope.
I swear he can't hear us. But he's going for the Battle Frontier. I
It
get,
makes sense.
I don't know, like you're not really too worried about it as Hydreigon. If
You hate drafting the Battle Frontier here. What he's doing?
I mean, um, if you break evolve a powerful Squall, it's Dragon. There's like ways to play around,
Mm,
and you have Field Blower and Fabo.
yeah.
Like cast form is
Cast farm
so good.
and is there only one cast farm in the queue?
Yeah, there's only one cast form.
Oh no, yeah. So I think Cast Farm there is for sure correct. He has level ball, quick ball. That's it. But that's a lot already
Yeah,
to search
but
all
I mean,
energy and Ultra Ball.
I could hate after the Battle Frontier though. Like I'm not saying it's the worst pick. I just don't think I don't think you're as bothered by it because once you set up your energies, like the worst thing someone can do, I guess, is stick you with an N, um, Battle Frontier.
Yeah, yeah. Also stops the Delcatty, so maybe he's like considering both.
And I think he's taking Gengar here as security. Um,
I don't like this.
it seems like
Gengar is
a
a good matchup, right?
Gengar's a good matchup. We've also seen a level X go and another Creep Show go,
Yeah.
and I feel like the deck needs a lot of Creep Show.
The Vard feud is there.
Oh, see, I would take Devour Field here. Because you need the 160 to actually take one shots.
160. Oh yeah, yeah. For Calamity Blast, yeah.
On the break, yeah, and it works with both Hydreigons. Like it's the best stadium for the line.
Yeah, no, for sure. And Peonia here is not bad.
There's
I don't
also
like the card personally, but he
mm,
already has Gladion, so
yeah,
it's not a
and
high
there's
priority
four
pick.
Peonia in the queue for stuff like
Oh,
Umbreon, so
okay.
it's not even something you're worried about not seeing again.
Oh, look at the wheel here.
Wow, Treasure coming back is just insane. Not just because of Hydreigon, but like you also think of like Weezing and Gengar.
Yeah, they're not being played. The Weezing went super late. The Gengars are being hate drafted and going super late also. And the only Dragonline is Hydreigon, so and like Espion, nobody's playing Espion on when the Umbreon is going this late. So I think he knows that the treasures are just super open. You just leave them
Yeah,
there and
that's really good since most of his line is Dragon. Besides
yes,
obviously the powerful Squall,
Dark
but
Squall.
yeah, if he
Wait, what is the Squall?
yeah,
No, it is Dark Squall. There's a powerful something.
some
Yeah.
type of Squall, but approximate knowledge of some attacks in this cube. Um, but yeah, Blaziken obviously deadline. And that line Umbreon, I bet Umbreon isn't getting drafted. There's the other Umbreon over here too. So yeah, the line's definitely not getting drafted unless someone's like
hmm
kind of going back and forth. He's picking up
Yeah.
the Royal Flash, Slow King, which is not a bad picker for control. Um, although we did see a memory melt, so maybe if that comes through too, maybe he's got a little bit of security built up there.
hmm
But
Yeah, it's not a bad pick
if
for
someone's
sure.
holding on to Hydreigon's here, I don't know why, because I have not seen. I mean, we see from what we see on screen. I mean, Jail has. Well, I guess he has 4 3s as well as, but they've been coming really late.
Yeah.
So
I think there's no chances that anyone is on Hydreigon. And we have the power to go see, but I like the drama.
I really want to see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And find out later because this is like a situation I've been in a ton of times, and I just
Yep.
want to know how someone else reacts to it because it's very scary. Like, I mean, I say scary, it's very stressful because you only have one shot in drafting to really make it come together, and sometimes it just happens like that. And you're right, the deck trio did wheel. I was definitely, I definitely could have. I definitely was wrong about maybe taking it early, but having it at this point, I mean, JL's getting some fallbacks.
Yeah.
Um,
Now I think he's really stable for not really stable, but decently
he's
stable for
stabilizing, right? Like he's
yes.
getting there. Um, because I mean, he's some of the pieces he can use for Hydreigon work with Orlando Trio, like Prof letters and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm. He does
uh,
have only a single prof
right,
letter. I thought he had two. No, only one.
but like that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I mean, he's definitely getting some pieces for some different lines there. I have
Viridian came back. Look at this.
that's very nice. Um, yeah, I think Viridian's a safe pick here.
No,
Uh,
he kind of needs the Viridian to. He
yeah,
does have one Professor's Letter, but he has to run a Psychic Energy to attack with the break.
yeah,
So it's pretty annoying to play as a Hydreigon player. Like it's if you don't have like Holland's Cast Farm or like a Double Rainbow or anything like that, it's really annoying to run like more Psychic Energy because you don't have an easy way to fetch them, and they clutter in your hand. You can discard them. It's super annoying. Getting the Viridian here is just decent. He only has one good stadium, right? The Devoured Feud. He's not playing Battle Frontier ever, so having a second stadium is just good to have.
yeah. And I guess like no one's on fighting.
Pretty
Um,
sure no one's fighting.
which is very interesting. I mean, Gliscor I kind of get. But Gigalith honestly has a lot of a lot of tricks, especially with those. I guess those other fighting boys came late. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
I
that's
saw one of the gigalifts, one of the very good gigalifts, the one that does 50 times the amount of
yeah,
energy you discard. It was early. It was decently early, like early enough for someone to build around.
yeah.
Carbon. Okay, nobody's on fighting. Sure.
And there's the Dino. So man, I really hope that he's able to get the Hydra guns because I would feel so bad because you're like,
I'm pretty sure. Like
what are you
from
supposed to do? Like your Dinos come and like the last two cards.
from the information that I was given in the draft, Hydreigon is decent. Like it's super open.
I
It's
think
just unfortunate.
I think honestly, having taken the break so early makes it so no one's really on that line as
Hmm.
hard, I should say, because I mean obviously nothing's stopping you from taking like, Dark Squall. But I think because no one else has the break, they're like, well, I mean nothing there's no real indicator for Hydreigon here, especially because that other one came decently late in the first picks of
Yeah, it
the
was pick
pack.
7, 6 or
Yeah.
7. It was pretty late.
Which is I mean, I would just again, I would feel so bad if he's not able to get his Hydra guns because that would be such a good signal that, that the line is open.
Yeah, maybe he's getting some weird signals, but I'm pretty sure
I feel like he's getting a
he's got
pretty
this.
clear signal that Hydra gun's open, but oh my god, you just never know. Like nothing's stopping for someone from taking a Hydra gun, you know?
Let's see what the pack here comes. It's probably gonna be like 3 Hydrogons in the same pack. It always happens.
No Hydra gun in this pack.
It's a very good pack.
This pack is very nice. We got stuff like Chinchino, Communication, VS Seeker, Bird Keeper. I mean, really, you can get this pack might still be great when it comes back. VS Seeker, nice here. He's got a lot of consistency, so just being able to reuse supporters could be really good. Stuff like
Yeah, he
N.
has 2. He got the N back then, right?
I don't
He
remember.
didn't. No, he didn't. He only has the admin. But
Yeah.
even then, like he has like the Oracle that he got early got really good now that he has the
Does he have a? He doesn't have a.
okay.
He doesn't have a skitty yet though.
It's
I mean, I'm not
fine.
saying he's not gonna get one. There's like 6 skitty in the queue, but you know, um, hopefully that's still in the case. Um, but yeah, he's gonna take VS Seeker here. I think that's fine. Could also see
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, no, I like VS Seeker here.
Come is decent, but he has a lot of search already.
Yeah,
So
I also thinking if he wants to take the Chinchino to get the Minchino back, maybe.
hmm
But I think he's probably decent odds he gets a Delcatty or Skitty. Um, I don't know. Hard to say on that
Bird
one.
Keeper is also good to have.
Yeah.
Versus Seeker is like the best pick here. I'm not gonna think otherwise. He has like his choice between Twins and Rosa. Twins, I guess Rosa's the better one there. In his deck, Twins may be good because he's a really late deck. He starts attacking really late, and the second
There we
Hydreigon.
go. All right. It's feeling a little bit better. He snap picked that. I
Yep.
swear, if he was like, oh, this is okay.
No, no, don't.
I
Okay,
think I feel like I'm being trolled.
sometimes
I
this is
was
correct.
I was
Like
baited.
some, he probably no. I think he's probably thinking about this because his signal is nobody's gonna pick this Hydro because this pack is decent. Someone is probably playing Chestnut because it's really good.
Yeah.
Someone's probably playing Raichu and there's an Electro Power there. Heat Factor is not being played because there's no Blaze. Maybe there's a Salazo, but I wouldn't say so. Teammates is really good. Skateboard is really good. Jet is really good. So there's a
Hmm.
world here where
Yeah.
this Hydreigon wheels.
I get what you're saying, and
But
I don't necessarily disagree. And maybe that's actually something that maybe upon review I kind of want to explore because having gone through the stress of this is like um
yeah,
but like yeah you're honestly right. Like theoretically, if Hydreigon's wide open, you could take the Kukui, but when
but
your and whole deck's
sometimes you
built
just have
around
to be an
when your
adult,
whole
right?
deck's built around Hydreigon and you
Yeah.
have one and it's pack 5, I wouldn't risk it. But I mean, you know what? Some people like to gamble, and I'm. But that's an interesting idea though, because like technically speaking, I don't necessarily disagree.
Yeah, there's like sometimes you can do that. It's kind of
Hmm.
crazy. I seen Slight do this. I think it was Champions Cube. He wheeled
Yeah,
like double Sneasel, and it was like a
yeah.
very important piece
It
of
was
his deck.
Sneasel, Sneasel, and then I think a Lucario piece was in there.
Yep,
He
he
had
did the
three
crazy
three
thing.
important pieces. Actually, I can't remember what it was. It was like he saw both Sneasels go. Like he had both Sneasels in his pool, or not both Weevilles in his pool. So yeah, so he could wheel a Sneasel or something like that. You guys can go back
Yeah,
and watch it. It's on our YouTube channel. But I mean that's just an interesting idea. That's like watching it firsthand, like taking a second to like break it down. Like there might be arguments actually towards doing that, regardless of how like awful it would feel. I don't know.
yeah. I would never do it. Like when you're crazy to see Hydreigon like this, I
Yeah,
think actually he made the wrong pick there. There was a Alolan Vulpix in that pack, and Alolan Vulpix in this deck is really good because you need things to be in the active and die to get your Rosas and your Twins up. And Alolan Vulpix is one of the best cards. You don't need to attach to it. You just need to put it up there, attack. You force your opponent's ends and judges really early. That's pretty annoying for them. Like you want to keep those cards for late. But when you have a N in hand, your opponent beacons, like you have to use your N right there to kind of stop their setup. I think he got Calm, and I think his item search is really good. He's probably gonna cut a few cards from
yeah.
his deck. And Alolan Vulpix is just a card that I really wanted in this deck
It works so
when I
well
played
when
it.
you have stuff like Rosa as well, because then if you
Yep.
can just use like the Lapras even, and
Yeah.
your Vulpix gets knocked out, you're like, okay, let me go Rare King to Hydreigon, evolve into Hydreigon, and let me just do a bunch of stuff. Or like you can just make some crazy turns. That's also where stuff like Counter Catcher can even be good because you start out behind, so like you can bring up an important draw Pokemon, knock it out early. It's just so many plays you can make with like just giving off an early lead.
Yeah, the
Uh,
more you play Cube, the more you understand that Alolan Vulpix is just a crazy card. Like
yeah.
shuffle draw cards like Cleffa are not reliable. You get another hand, true, but sometimes it's not enough. When you
I
can search the thing you need on the turn
yeah.
you need it, is just okay.
There we go. That
See, never didn't have it.
Yeah, this is like okay, sigh of relief, right? But on that point though, like I've had honestly like complete I wouldn't say trash, but just like not very good drafts get carried by just having a little Vulpix. So
Yep.
like I don't draft enough consistency, it's fine. Just get Vulpix in the active and then just set it from there. Card's
This is
so
not a
good.
dig at anyone. It's just
No,
very important information.
acknowledging how good the card is.
Yeah, no, the thing I'm gonna say, Chimerex won Champions Cube 1 on the back of Alolan Vulpix. He told us, if you go to the Slower Cars Cube on Cube Koga and look at his deck, the image on his deck is not Telepath Gardevoir, it's not Firestarter Blaziken, it's not one of the busted Gardevoirs in the cube, it's Alolan Vulpix. Because he said the card just carried his entire deck
Yeah,
the entire time because it's so good. It's so easy on its lower cube, even it's crazy strong.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I would have loved to see the Alolan Vulpix there. He has a lot of quick balls to get that even. It's just a very very good card that it's kind of overlooked.
Oh yeah, which is actually really interesting because when I drafted more like in person and just like my own I guess personal cube meta, like that card was super highly contested.
Yep.
Um, but when I moved over to the Discord, the card honestly saw a lot less. I don't want to say a lot less play, but a lot less higher pick priority, which is it's just kind of an interesting evolution and like different people think different ways and value different cards differently. Like
Yep.
obviously,
hmm
so I don't know. Maybe we'll see a day where Lone Vulpix gets a higher pick.
And
And
if you played on 2017, right, you
yeah, oh
know how
yeah, that
crazy
might be
good the
honestly where it comes from because like I built my cube in like 2018, early 2018, late
hmm
2017. So while in the middle of that card just being insane, but
Yeah,
wow,
I
this
remember
pack,
the Guardians Rising pre-release. It was insane, even on like a weird meta game. And
yeah.
this pack is really good. Look at this.
Oh my gosh, so many good pieces in this pack for Dimension Lions. I mean, the double puzzle and the energy retrieval is really sad for Dictrio, but I don't think anyone's playing Dictrio.
Nope.
Unknown Q, very good card here. Just a basic that you a tool at the same time. I like Rare Candy here. Rescue Stretcher also would be good because then you can recycle the break a lot faster. But Rare Candy in a stage 2 deck that you can confidently play feels. I mean, it's good to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hydreigon just needs speed, and the fact that he found part of the Dark Squall is a sigh of relief. It means he can start building around it more confidently. But I think JL's honestly set himself up very well here. It did
Yeah.
not. I'd say it didn't look great. His picks were honestly really solid. Like, leading into it, he was going to be in sort of a pickle if he didn't find a Hydreigon this pack, but I think he did a really good job of staying pretty much open. Um, and I respect that. I think that's a sign of definitely a quality drafter. It makes sense. I mean, he's won the PQ series before. I believe he won what Vents with Cube League when it was Vents Cube.
Um, I don't remember which one it was, but
I
he
think
definitely
yeah it
won.
was he won with Empoleon
Yes,
McCargo.
yeah, and William McCarthy. Yes, of
So like
course.
JL's obviously shown before he's got some insane cube chops, and honestly, this is like one of my favorite parts is watching someone else go through it, the draft process, and seeing what they think and what they're evaluating here in real time. And
Mm-hmm.
look at all of these Septifier pieces that are just not.
Yeah. Oh, imagine playing Blaziken, right? You don't have
Although,
anything.
yeah, I wonder if anyone's on. I feel like I haven't seen any Salazzles.
We saw one Salazzo, I think, on this pack
Yeah,
or in the other
yeah,
one, the one before. I think nobody's on Salazzo because Heat Factor is just an insane card in that deck.
yeah. Well, they might. Yeah,
Um,
it's hard to say, but this pack also looks pretty good. I would probably take Vitality Band just because your numbers with
mm,
Hydreigon are tend to be weak.
I'd go for Jirachi because you need things to die for you to set up safely on the
That's
bench.
true. Yeah,
And he
that's a good
doesn't have
point.
a low Vulpix, so like just
Oh yeah,
leaving that there
for some reason I
is.
was thinking he took that. As we were talking about it, but
Oh, he has a skateboard. Of course he goes Jirachi.
oh yeah, well that's a good point. I do think Vitality Band is good in Hydreigon.
Oh yeah.
But
Mhm.
I definitely agree with what you're saying. Having the free mobility, obviously, like Stellar Wish Jirachi with Skateboard, same premise here, except you can get any card. It's a good combination for jail deck.
Oh, look. I think nobody's
Uh,
playing Lightning.
Rip Gold. I wonder what people actually are playing. I'm gonna be really interested to see where everyone's at the end
Yeah.
of this draft. I think at the very end of the next pack, we can take a look around, see where everybody ended up at. But wow, that's a lot of lightning. That's all of the lightning support actually. Not all, but that's like lightning starter pack in this
It's not
pack.
every day that you see Dynamotor going for like a third wheel. That card is usually a first pick,
Yeah, I will say
not a
gold.
last one.
Gold actually has performed decently well. I'm surprised. And not people might already be established in other lines, but
I
uh
mean, you see two golems here means that
oh
they're
yeah.
not appearing on the early packs. Like it would be the same thing as if Hydreigon Break didn't appear on the start of this draft, nobody would be playing Hydreigon for
For
sure.
sure. Yep. Um, let's go
Oh,
for the
Pierce.
yeah. I like Pierce here. This you can see search for the Dark
The psychic
Hydreigon.
one. And the psychic energy.
Oh right, is it just any energy? That's right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, that seems like even
Yeah,
better.
this card is playable in cubes with like a single Galarian Zigzagoon in your deck or like a Sableye, just because it
Yeah.
searches DC, searches Scramble, Super Boost, some like
Yeah, Pierce
crazy
might be
energy.
a pretty underrated card actually. The more I think about it, because you're definitely right. When you have something even just like impersonate Sableye, you can just be you're able to pierce for that card. You can pierce for Zigzagoon, like you said. And yeah, if your deck needs to use something like DC or Scramble Energy, even Double Rainbow, it's like great. Let me just free search for that. Not a lot of cards search special energies, so
Very few cards search special energy, so
yeah. Speaking of Zigzagoon,
never bad to have a Zigzagoon, right? You
that's
have
actually
things on your Hydreigon break, so you can hit 60 with the Zigzagoon.
you also can remove it with the other
Oh yeah,
Hydreigon.
Weed Out. Oh my god, it's really good in this deck.
Yeah, Zigzagoon plus Weed Out plus if you have any sort of like recursion with it where you can like bring it back to your hand like Rescue Stretcher, um yeah, any of that is really good. Um JL is leaving us a note here and saying he's saying I should put Jirachi Prism Star in here. I think that would be broken.
Yeah, but that's the fun of it. I think that there's a difference between like making a cube that you want to be played on Cube League and making like your cube that people play with it in your local game store. Like my cube has your Archer Prism. Is it good? No. Is it fun? Yes.
See, I kind of take that approach, but like I definitely really, I think a lot of people where I come from definitely enjoyed the competitiveness of it. So I would be
Oh yeah.
a little bit I try to add something like that. Although I do like, something like unknown supporter is kind of funny. It's because of the
Mm.
if if you ever are playing like Slow King Control and they play 12 supporters, you end up losing them. A fun way to win the
Or they
game.
play 11 and you have an auto loss there.
Yeah. Yeah, don't put yeah, you gotta play 11 to check against the unknown unknown
I'd for sure
supporter.
do this in this queue. Just play
You're
11
like,
and never
I'm
lose.
not getting got today. We are seeing the Geiger pick up here. So we only have one more pack left. Uh
So important things here. He has 3 Hydreigon. It's fine already. The trance one would be really good to have, just
yes.
decent card. And a Skitty. He really needs a Skitty
Oh,
or
you're
like a
right.
Devil
A
Prison.
Skitty has not come through here. Um the Shaman EX is nice, but yeah, I definitely agree Skitty would be. Ooh, you know what? He can actually weed out the Shaman EX. That's so good.
Yeah, no, Weed Out is so good. Like it's such an underrated card. I won 2
Yeah.
games on I think it was Willy Yaza's cube where 2 players tried to hit my bench on 2 separate times because I played Jirachi and Shaman, I think. And on those 2 situations I won the game by weeding out and like gaining a turn because they wasted a attack on my bench. Oh, when you don't have Skitty, just get Porygon 2.
Yeah, you can just get back up here. I think that would honestly just be my pick. Because he has everything else. He has consistency. He has tons of draw. He does not have a draw Pokemon. So yeah, backup seems really insane.
And you
Uh,
don't play the Dalcat. Yeah, it's pretty fine because he has a lot of discard fodder also. Quick Ball, like even 2 treasures, 2 Quick Ball,
yeah.
1 Ultra Ball. I don't think he has the second Ultra Ball. Yeah.
I also feel like
So
in
that
decks like this, you want to have the energy mostly attached. I feel like sometimes you don't get to a situation where you want to discard an energy.
oh
Plus,
yeah.
you get to situations also where you're like, oh well, my own energy is a psychic energy, and I can't discard that. It's
Yeah.
awkward. Not saying Duck is an insanely great card and can definitely benefit this deck, but I think having the option to take backup right now, knowing that you have everything else this pack has to offer, like you have Ultra Ball, you have Pont. Um, I think Porygon 2 is just adds the most value to your draft. But man, this is a busted pack.
Yeah, this pack is insane. Even PCL, we have a 190 attacker.
Yeah.
Getting PCL, he has a Versus Seeker, he has a Lapras, so you can use this PCL really well. I think in this cube you're getting one shot a lot, maybe.
No, it depends on if you're a stage one. Stage one, I think would get one shot way more than like something like a Hydreigon or a Lone Golem or Chestnut.
Then I may go for this PCL because he has space in this deck right now. He has
Yeah.
11 supporters, and he probably cuts 1 or 2 because he has like a Twins and a Rosa, something that you don't usually play those together. He has like a Fab and a Windstorm, so he also has to make a
Mhm.
decision there. PCL is very playable in this deck. Even like when you have
Yeah.
the Lapras, Lapras is probably
I
the thing that breaks for me
I think
because
he
you
needs
have
to draw Pokemon though. Don't you agree?
yeah, as Kitty. Oh, he goes for none of those.
I guess for the Pont. See, I feel like Ultra Ball would be better than Pont here.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't like Pont, honestly.
I
I
think
think
it's.
there are way better
I think
supporters. But once you have,
Porygon just
go
offers
ahead.
him way more like draw over the course of the game.
Yes.
But I mean, he does have ways to recycle. If he can get back his Shaman EX or his Lapras, like it's honestly probably just as fine. Wow, Cessation Crystal, Rescue Stretcher,
He goes for
Palpat.
Paul Pad. He doesn't have a lot of good supporters. You
I
got BCL and goes for this Ball Pad.
yeah.
Imagine. Just
Oh yeah,
imagine.
yeah. Could have had a PCL for this. Right. Hyper Potion actually also seems pretty good with Hydreigon, just because 120 discard 2 energies, and if you can recover them back.
Oh, true.
Rescue Scratcher seems really good in general. I don't know if he took one or not. I don't remember. Um,
He has a Super
See,
Rod.
I think the Rescue Scratcher is
Yeah.
really good with the stuff like the Zigzagoon, where you can use the discard effect, pick it back up, use it again, as well as something like Shaman. You can use the Shaman, weed it out, Rescue Scratcher for Shaman again, use it. um, like you can utilize so many good attacks. You also can spam the break better because Super Rod's gonna shuffle it back in, but Rescue Scratcher is gonna put it right in your hand. So I think Rescue Scratcher would be a great pick. He's gonna go for Cessation. I don't know about that. Cessation is great, but like it's not great in your deck, and you have like multiple counters against it at this point.
Yeah, I'd leave the cessation just dying there. He's thinking about Mew
Yeah.
from I think Unbroken Bonds.
Yeah.
Um, It's kind of annoying against his deck because he wants the spread. The spread attack on Hydreigon Break is probably the best part.
Yeah.
50 is so much to snipe.
And
And this Muse probably breaks his legs if one of his opponents plays it.
it's also not necessarily a
Um,
bad card for his deck because you can use Psi Power as like a way to set up
yep,
multiple knockouts as well. Um, yeah, I would hate draft the Mew here. And if you
he
do it,
probably plays the Mew.
yeah, I think just making sure that you don't have to deal with, knowing that you don't have to deal with that, especially in a best of one situation.
Mm-hmm.
The Mew definitely is good. Also, you could play it against stuff like Raichu. At least have.
Oh,
Oh my gosh,
that's a neat.
that's like the best Uxie for you, right? Because you can just treasure, quick ball.
Oh my god. How can he not slam the Zoox? I think he was looking at his side, and the moment he looked at his monitor, he went, okay.
Yeah,
That's a
I
neat.
mean, now he's gonna have Shaman EX and Uxie if he wants to play them both.
He probably does. I think he cuts most of his cards. It's kind of sad that he didn't get the Skitty or Porygon 2. He has more chance to get the Skitty,
I think
but
he's honestly fine though because he can just clear the bench, so he could use stuff like Uxie every turn or on
oh
different
yeah.
turns. So
But
like,
he doesn't have a lot of stretcher effects.
yeah, that's like the other thing. We have seen a lot of the stretchers come through this pack, as well as the double Clara. So that's already went through the other pack, so
Yeah.
it's not gonna have a lot
Mm,
of recovery. And I feel like in this deck you need to find you need the consistent draw to find the energies.
yeah. It's kind of sad that he lost the Skitty. If he doesn't get the Skitty, I think this deck kind of suffers. He needs very good consistency to get those stage chews up. He he just gets the Skitty and the second Hydreigon. But I think okay, this is me here. I go for the Skitty.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go for Hydreigon. This Hydreigon will wheel for sure. Like there are decent cards in this pack. Even something like a Lysander Labs for someone who doesn't know what they're playing. A Dedenne also. It's
Yeah, there's a lot of good
decent
cards in
enough.
here for different decks. And the
I don't think
Hydreigons,
the Skitty wheels.
I don't think it does either because you have to imagine a lot of people have Delcatty or someone has that Delcatty. We've seen a lot of them go through. Um, yeah, you're kind of just giving up on the fact. You're kind of giving up on playing. You're playing kind of giving up on playing Delcatty. Kind of lost thinking about what he's looking through here. Um, that I agree. It just feels really weird passing Hydreigon, but I mean you already have three.
Yeah, and
Uh,
this one you're kind of
this
okay
is the Dark Pulse
passing
one, right? This is the one that accelerates the darkness energy to the active.
from this card. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's not the best Hydreigon. It's it's good, but
it's very fine.
he's got how many? Four? No,
This is his fourth
this would be
one.
his fourth one. Yeah, I kind of agree take with you. If taking the Skitty here allows you to be a more consistent deck, you already have the main components that you need. And there's actually a good chance that Hydreigon comes back. I think there's a very low chance that Skitty comes back. And you're
Yeah.
okay if you don't get the Hydreigon back. Because I don't think the fourth Hydreigon makes that big of a difference. I could have definitely seen taking the Skitty there. But maybe another Skitty will pop up. But
uh, how does he get? Does he get Ace off here? Do you? I think he does because he has
yeah,
not
yeah.
his all of his Hydreigons are different,
And he needs to
and
find the break. The break's
yeah,
prize, it's very bad. Plus, like the one he's got that his skin is discarded, it's very costless.
true. Yeah,
Weed out
Weed
definitely
Out.
makes it very costless.
Yeah, Weed Out is just a great card by itself.
Yeah.
The attack on Weed Out is underrated, very very
Yeah, it
underrated.
discards an energy.
Yeah,
Uh,
from both Pokemon, and you don't care about the discard, but maybe your opponent does.
yeah. Yeah, so I mean I could definitely see that coming up. But man, JL's got such an insane draft pool that just kind of fleshing out those Hydreigons turned out really well. It was very spooky though, you know. um but now it's kind of just
And
making the optimal picks here.
yeah,
Um,
I think there's no optimal pick here, honestly.
I mean, I think there honestly could be. I mean, you got to think maybe like what you want someone else not to have. And you can't really stop taking field blower. A lot of tool removal in this pack. Um,
This Rotom is not terrible for his deck, is
I don't think he plays it though. Dual trans can be good, but I don't think he's got
The thing
Really?
is the early game. What is his early game looking like? He has a one Drachi
Yeah. Okay. So maybe
and a
that.
Mew, maybe?
So
If
maybe
that
maybe
works.
I'm with you here. Maybe Rotom actually would be a decent card for his deck. Because
Because he has two treasures and one or two Ultra Balls. So he discards a lot of energy.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
Attacking for free is pretty decent there.
yeah. The free attack, even if like you stumble a turn, and let's just say you aren't able to get the powerful squall out, you can accelerate at least
Mm-hmm.
onto something, and you can actually recycle that. Yeah, actually, I'm with you because also it helps him recycle the psychic energies.
Yep.
So I think we've established there at least is a right pick in this pack, or at least a
And
good.
second Dark Scroll.
Oh my
See?
gosh.
None of the Hydrogons were taken. I told you. And okay, getting resystem here is kind of crazy. I think you have to get Dark Squall just because
Yeah,
having
Dark
two Dark
Squall is
Squalls in
your
your deck.
deck, right?
Yeah,
Also
I think
Skitty in
you.
this pack for what it's worth, which is kind of funny, but
Sure.
just kind of funny. That's one of the cards he's looking for. I'm
Yep.
honestly with you. I think Dark Squall is better here than Reset Stamp. Even though Reset Stamp's a great card, there's only one Reset Stamp in the cube. But um, I think if it comes down to me setting up more consistently, or stamping my opponent, or my opponent needed to stumble, I think Hydreigon's just way better having just like one of the main cards in the line. But I don't know. It's also like pretty late into the pack, and like someone might just take the Hydreigon just to have it, just because it's a line topper. Because eventually, I
Yeah.
mean,
And the spec is kind of bad, right? There's no really good
yeah.
cards, right? He wheeled back up. How does someone wheel back up?
What? Are you kidding? That's insane.
Okay, jail cannot be punished.
That's absolutely insane. You all are seeing it here. The backup coming back almost never happens, especially in a
Mm,
seven person pod. Um.
mm-mm.
Oh my gosh. Like I don't.
I don't remember what was in this pack, but
It
it
was Ultra
probably was
Ball,
hate.
Taunt. I remember those
He got the
two.
taunt, yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Or versus Seeker, maybe? I don't remember.
but yeah, I mean, I guess he's thinking about do I take the Porygon or not.
I
Uh,
don't think that there were six better cards than Porygon 2
I
in
don't
this
think there
pack.
were either.
And I don't think there are
I mean,
now,
I was
for
thinking,
sure.
that would be the first card he would take. Honestly, it was the Porygon.
Yeah, this is a classic. Oh my god, how's there a Porygon in this pack? And then you don't pick the Porygon. And the next person says the same thing and they don't get the Porygon. And it kind of just
How do
goes.
you feel as JL having Uxie Shaman, Delcatty, uh,
Yeah.
going for the Brock?
Well,
I was wondering if he's gonna go for the Brox here or not for the recovery.
don't love the Brox. Don't hate it also. But you're thinking about Brox when you see backup.
Cessation Crystal also came back. Are you kidding?
I don't like Cessation in his deck. I think there are
Well,
kind of
I
some.
like hate drafting it here, but
Oh yeah, hate drafting for sure.
if he didn't take the Brox and took the Porygon, I could have actually seen taking the Super Rod here. But I think take hate draft and Cessation Crystal. Although if no one's really interested in playing it, that might just tell you everyone's on decks that it's not good in. So you could actually probably take Super Rod here and be fine.
Yeah, I'd say that he just probably wants a more consistent deck. This is high power,
Yeah.
right? You don't have a lot of turns. You have to like do everything really fast and really efficiently. So Broxger is not an efficient card, and he doesn't have.
Yeah.
Usually, when you have Broxger, you have something like a Delcatty. He's probably counting on wheeling Skitty, and maybe he
Oh,
does,
I thought
right?
I thought he took a Skitty.
Nope, sure didn't.
Oh wow. Okay, well that changes my entire.
Yeah, he does not have either
Then
Porygon or
I
Delcatty.
wonder why he didn't take the Porygon. Because
Yeah.
the Skitty was up against a Hydreigon, and you want the Hydreigon to wheel. But maybe he's anticipating the Skitty coming back. But that's one of those cards where it's like I could see someone just taking a Skitty because I mean they have a Delcatty. Um, yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I would not take in this line. I think having like stretchers are decent cards. Porygon 2 is like it works better if it's faster, and you
Hmm.
have to prioritize speed on this cube, speed and consistency, and it's both, right?
Yeah,
That card does both of those,
looks
so
like he's gonna go for Seeker here. I mean,
don't hate it.
I don't hate it either. Red Challenge is not the best. He's got enough. He's got a lot of consistency that I don't even think Nest Ball is worth it for him.
Mm-hmm.
Lily Full Force is not really great in his deck. It's generally better in deck like Deck Trio that has to discard.
If
Uh,
he had Porygon,
yeah, actually,
then
the Lily's
maybe.
Full Force actually does actually wield a lot of value. Um, and I wonder, I guess the other Hydreigon did not come back.
No, that wasn't the spec. That was the first Hydreigon. That was the Skitty on the spec.
Oh, was it this pack? Okay.
Yeah, I guess both packs had either Skitty or Hydreigon, but
Because there was a powerful
um,
squall and we saw the dragon.
this was the Dragon. Powerful Squall was in the last one.
Okay. Taking counter gain.
I think I prefer Olympia here.
Olympia for the healing could be good. Target Whistle could actually also be good if they're playing like you can like recycle their basics. Some basics do have 50 HP in this cube. Um,
Oh, that's
so
annoying.
Target
So
Whistle can actually just be a free prize.
I don't know if I would do that just for consistency because his consistency doesn't look great right now without Porygon and Dokkaebi.
Yeah, he's gonna be very supporter
Um,
reliant on his deck here,
yeah. At least he has Uxie and Shaman EX, so could be worse.
and Lapras.
Yep, true.
Yeah, I wish he had a little bit more recovery. Um, because then that would
Yeah,
allow him to reuse the Shaman and the Uxie, especially the Uxie because he has so many more targets for it. Lacheet's got a decent, he's got some, but I think double Super Rod would have been really good.
a Super Rod
Really
and
a
a Stretch out.
stretcher would have been insane.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to stretch your back even Zigzagoon for an easy ping or Uxie, Shaman, you name it. Like, um, but we'll have to see. I mean, maybe this pads out either way. He did take a lot of draw support.
Yeah,
Um,
his supporters are looking really
he also,
decent.
if he can take multiple prizes, that's also a good way to accumulate hand advantage. Um, Going for the Coronet here. I still like the Rotom, honestly, as far as like
Mm-hmm.
good starters go. Um, and the Coronet's just never going in your deck. But I guess at this point you know what's going in your deck, what's not.
Oh, that explains a lot. So JL says that he just realized that he does not have a Skitty.
Yeah, I've been there before. I mean, I understand. I mean, I've definitely been to those points, especially, he's been looking for Hydreigons for so long.
Oh, come on.
Wait, did a Skitty really came back? Wow. All
Yep.
right, well, never mind. Here we go. So this ended up padding out super well for JL here.
This is
Uh,
super funny.
this has been a really fun draft to watch. Honestly, it's really everything came together at the end. But man, a few packs ago, this was not looking great. Not not
Yeah,
not
this
not
is,
not that it was any of JL's fault. Like it just happened
of
to
course.
work out that all the Hydreigons were in the last two packs.
Yeah, like sometimes you have to be patient and you have to believe in your line. When you,
Yeah.
of course, you need to see the signals that
Yeah.
nobody's in your line. Like your support is not getting taken, your basics are not
Yeah.
getting taken. So then you can like think about, okay, my line is probably on the later packs, and I can go for a secondary line maybe because
Hmm.
something crazy will happen. But this is a good exercise on like don't go like, oh my god, my line's taken, I need to do another deck, and like
Yeah.
instantly go for a second archetype and forget about your first one. When you have such a great and strong attacker like Hydrogen Break, you kind of have to always get 1 feet on that line. And I think this is a great example of that happening right
Yeah.
before our eyes.
The main takeaways that are, look at the signals. So in this case, we
Yes.
saw JL was having all of his, evolving basics, and as well as even stuff like Mysterious Treasure, Devoured Field, just cards you would expect to be in Hydreigon, wheeling consistently throughout the entire draft. Um, like you kind of have to take a second and think about, if other people are passing those cards, like they're not. The chances are no one's trying to like big brain you into thinking the Hydreigon's open because I mean they haven't seen the break. So like you got to look at those signals, and I think the crucial aspect of it is you can still drafting kind of open because like as you saw what JL was doing is he wasn't like snap cracking those dinos and stuff just to like keep his claws on it. He was still keeping like a lot of options open by taking generally just great cards that can go on a lot of decks, and then making sort of committal decisions when he needed to. You could tell maybe if the Hydreigons would have come pack 6, like I think in pack 5 he would have probably started taking a little bit of other cards. Although we just started to take some Londo Trio stuff. So I think the other thing is to make sure you have some, you're looking at what's not being taken. So if you have to pivot, yeah, but I think in this case you could definitely tell by the signals that unless someone was just taking the Hydreigons just to take them, they were not being passed around yet. And as we saw coming through the last few packs, there was all the Hydreigons. So if you ever find yourself in this situation, just look at the signals. I do want to look at some other tabs here and just take a second and see what other people have. So it looks like we are seeing some fire stuff from Carry On. Looking over at Joe, we see there's my Gigalith stuff.
Oh, okay. So he was 5-heading, wheeling every card for his deck.
That would have been a good one to watch too. Yeah, 3 Delcatty, 3 Skitty. Very
Oh my
nice.
god.
Very nice.
Okay.
Very nice. Very nice. And we've seen JL, PG Pichu. I see a lot of grass. Hopefully that's I mean that could be either way. Chandler's Shack. Looks like we see a lot of lightning stuff. They must have been really sad to have seen the
Oh yeah.
logo, but they might also have been drafting Raichu, so that would have been probably okay for them. Benjamin Grove. I see some Swamperts, double Celestial Storm Swampert, Great Encounter Swampert. So that's the washout one I was talking about earlier, and then also the one of the PCR Primal Clash. There we go. The one that allows you to attach 2 energies on it, and as well as Diving Surge, which is Macargo's ability, as well as the Ganadel too. So looking pretty nice over here. And then Chimerex. So Chimerex playing Chestnut pretty undeniably here. So I would bet that not Carry On. Who was it? Was it PG? So,
I think so.
PG might be on something else, maybe Cricketine or something. But JL, the star of the show in this draft, definitely came together very well. Super lucky to get the. I will admit there was a Skitty. I will admit there was some picks in there that he got really bailed out for. But honestly, overall, like throughout the entire draft, I thought he did like exceptionally well. Made some really intelligent picks there. Was very much you could tell he's drafted before. You can tell he's got a lot of drafting experience. So those are my final thoughts. Davi, you got any other final thoughts before we close out on this one?
Yeah, sometimes the universe just kind of gives you presents, like the last the last kitty. Sometimes the universe says you're not playing today, and your lines all come clump together by the end, and your deck's kind of bad. And sometimes both happen, and your draft is just fine. So this was one good example of a lot of things. I think there were some not wrong picks, but some picks that could have been more thought out. The deck is not perfect by any means, but it's pretty strong. And I'm really excited to see where this goes. I really want to see at least one game for this deck.
I feel like hopefully we will. And if you ever want to catch the live gameplay, we stream this every Sunday around 2 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. And if you want to see more Cube content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That way this video gets shared out to more people who can see the draft. But if you sat through it this long, thank you so much. And make sure to tune in next week around 12 p.m. for the next Cube draft. But that's going to do it for us here. We'll see you guys next time.